Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Well, happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lock Shop, brought to you by our wonderful partners at Coolbet. If you're not betting with Coolbet yet, what are you even thinking? Coolbet.com. Huss, are you muted there? I think I saw you go, come on. Or did you just use your magic fingers there?
Yeah, I was just giving a visual visual endorsement to what you were saying.
I was going to say happy Monday, but is it a happy Monday, Huss?
No, not like last Monday. Not like last Monday, I'll tell you that. Thank you. But one thing I will say, and this goes back to, listen, we're going to have great weeks, not so great weeks with the picks. Yeah. This wasn't a great week with the picks. I thought we might squeeze in a backdoor cover with the Cowboys there last night in the night game to get to 2-2, but alas, it didn't happen. But I got bailed out. The one thing that I was pretty solid on throughout the week was a big game from Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yes,
they came through in fantasy, and listen, they came back and covered that number to avoid a very, very rough week. So, hey, 1-3 after 4-0. I just have to take the medicine. And, of course, then, the main event was the Chiefs-Bills game, and I can't believe you're bringing Pat on today. I needed a couple days before we speak again after that. But, hey, listen, credit to the Bills. This is an absolute wagon right now. No one ever wins the Super Bowl after week 6. But I'll tell you what, that's a big win for them. They certainly have the inside track on home field in the AFC playoffs. But I do think that the Chiefs will meet the Bills again later on in the season. And I can only hope the result's a little different. But it was a real fun game yesterday.
Yes, it was. That was a pretty, didn't hit the over like I wanted, but it was still a really good football game. The Sunday nighter was an interesting game. The Eagles do look pretty good. I finished 2-2 in our best bets this week. And it felt like a 4-0 week. After the way everything went, I was just like, God. I was just like 2-2. Thank you. I'll take it. On to the next one. So just what a weekend. What a Sunday. Just a bizarre Sunday all around, man.
And listen, I took a big fat L on the Niners. They were incredibly disappointing.
Browns killed us.
I don't know what we can say. Well, the Browns are on the suspended list. I really don't want to spend too much time on the Browns. They're although I said this to a couple of my friends, and maybe I have to talk to Jake when he's joining us a little later on in the week, but are the Patriots good? I know.
Was Mac Jones the problem all along?
Well, listen, hot seat Mac Jones. I think Zappy. Bill Belichick does not care what round you were picked in. I can tell you that. And if they're going to keep winning games with Zappy, he will be the guy going forward. Again, I don't want to overreact too much to beating the Lions and the Browns in back-to-back weeks, but I didn't expect much from the Patriots after we saw them in the first few weeks, and they're looking real, real good. But Atlanta, 6-0 against the spread, and once again, Mariota, I think, was 13 of 14. He didn't even throw 15 times. They ran the ball on the Niners all day long. Did not see that coming, so
and a touchdown to Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, well, the Pitts. He still only had 19 yards receiving, but he did come out of the witness protection program long enough to make an appearance in the end zone and do the dirty bird.
All right, we're going to give you our picks for the Monday Nighter. A little bounce back situation here. Let's do that. We'll get to that in this episode. We also are launching the Monday Night Football Partner Parlay with Patty being our third on the parlay, which is good. And we got a big one today. It's like plus 770 or something like that. So we bring in a guy here whose Buffalo Bills were victorious yesterday, and also his sports book destroyed us yesterday. So how are you doing today, sir?
This is a big-time victory Monday. I'm sorry, Huss. I'm not going to go too much because you said it. These two teams are on a collision course for the postseason, and who cares if you win in Week 6 if you don't win in the AFC Championship or even this, the series or the game before that. It doesn't matter. So great game. Every time those two quarterbacks meet, it's absolute magic. And it's a lot better when your team doesn't blow a lead with 13 seconds left. Although my buddies and I were talking that there was way too much time when the Bills scored that
Oh.
last touchdown. I was what are we doing here? Slow it down. This is they got a field goal with 13 seconds last time. What are they going to do with a minute? But the defense was huge yesterday. Von Miller was massive.
Yes, he was.
And Elam coming up with a big pick earlier in the game. The rookie, like the whole defense, I think kind of goes really under the radar with this team because of how electric Josh Allen and the offense is. But again, I'm not going to go too much here, Huss. It's just a regular season win. I know you guys will be back, and yeah, we're gonna play again.
I'll say this about the Bills. I believe this hasn't happened in a long, long time, but the Bills will, in all likelihood, after the Monday Nighter, be the number one offense DVOA and the number one defense DVOA in the National Hockey League or National Football League. And listen, they're the Super Bowl favorites. They've looked every bit the part so far this year. This was their biggest test, maybe the entire season, and they passed it. And you're right. I mean, Mahomes had plenty of time to go in and make something happen. And the Bills defense stepped up with that pick. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the next one. But as they say, I don't mind the thought of Mahomes and the Chiefs going in as underdogs to a Bills team with tons of pressure on them in the playoffs in a few months.
Yeah, that's a bit terrifying, to be honest. It was terrifying going into this game, knowing that this was the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he was an underdog at Arrowhead Stadium. Like, that is insane. And when that was that storyline was getting pumped out a little bit, it got me scared. But again, these two teams, they're just so close. This wasn't the shootout that everyone was expecting, myself included. I took the over. That was the only thing I was going to bet in that game. I didn't want to mush anything with the Bills or try the reverse jinx, and then it actually jinxed myself. But that just goes to show you these defenses are a lot better than what everyone kind of gives them credit for. And again, that was my loss there to go off the books. I know, Dusty, you were mentioning that it was a great day for the Bucs. It certainly was. I know I didn't have the best day personally. I think it was 2-3. I think I had a teaser that saved my day in the Eagles-Cowboys game. Again, you want to talk about top teams in the NFL. You got to put the Eagles in there right now. I know they haven't really faced an elite opponent but they don't. The Bills
like, if you look at the Eagles' schedule the rest of the way, man, it's shit. It's the easiest schedule in the league the rest of the way.
I was just gonna say they have they will be. I would be shocked if they are not like 14-0 or 13-1 heading into their next game against the Cowboys. Their schedule is absolute trash, man. Like, it is insane. But hey, who cares? They didn't make the schedule. Just beat who you can beat.
Yeah.
But if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be a little bit concerned that they're not playing anyone good for a very long time.
Jeez, this everyone just keeps forgetting about the Giants. The 5-1 Giants, right there, just one game back so far. It's a good thing we had Allen and Mahomes show yesterday afternoon, because the quarterbacking and some of the games elsewhere in the league was absolutely atrocious. And you think about those losses: Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, all taking L's yesterday. And listen, I mean, there was a lot of people that were packing tickets or teasers with the Packers on them, with the Bucs on them. And I think that blew up a lot of people's Sundays early on. But it was wild. I mean, big win for the Giants. And how about the Jets going into Lambeau? I heard today that the Jets now have as many wins against the Packers in the last 7 years as the Chicago Bears do, playing them twice a year.
That is painful. And you want to talk about bad quarterback play, but Zach Wilson goes into Lambeau, completes 10 passes, barely hit over 100 yards. I think his QBR was 30.9, and they still won. So
by 17.
I know. Yeah, I shouldn't say they smoked them. Dusty and I were talking before we hit the air here. I think Green Bay and Tampa Bay, they're on my shit list. I'm not touching them. But every single week it seems like, hey, this is a get right game. Hey,
exactly. I know, that's the problem.
I'm starting to think that they just might stink.
They might. That's the issue. That's the issue. But I'm still going to look at it and go, Packers are not going to lose this game. I mean, I got to get on them. They're going to cover. I got to get one. And that's the worst part about it. All right, Monday Nighter. We've got the Broncos in prime time again. We can't get enough of Russell Wilson in prime time going up against the Chargers. Huss and I will give our regular picks after. We'll get to the partner parlay in just 1 second. But Pat, as far as spread or total goes, I mean, are you making a play in this game?
I mean, I 100% I will end up making a play. There's no doubt about it. I am going to the Leafs game tonight, so I won't have full eyes on this one. But, you've got to play the primetime game, even though I'm not going to catch much of it. But I would certainly lean Chargers here. The Broncos and Russell Wilson have showed nothing for me to be any interested in betting on this side. And it also feels like the Chargers, their offense is really starting to click. As you guys will talk in a little bit with the partner parlay and some of your picks, Eckler has been an absolute beast. The offense, the run game, the pass game starting to come together, and just this Broncos team, man, it's just not working. They're no good. Their defense is no good. The offense is just not working. And I think this whole Russell Wilson project has gone completely sideways. And with him being hurt, man, if they lose tonight and maybe lose in the next couple of weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if he just shuts it down and says this shoulder injury is not worth it. And
you got 6 more years you need to be shitty in, right? So you got to
exactly
take care of it this year. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Patty's right. Like there's no real reason to want to back the Broncos in this situation, is there?
Absolutely none.
No.
Like they even if you were the biggest Broncos guy or have all your investments in Broncos for this season, I don't know how you can look at them over the last couple of weeks and even consider backing them right now until they look a little bit better. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that this number isn't bigger.
Yeah.
I know it's a divisional game, and listen, underdogs, just look at yesterday. I mean, they feasted. But I'm the same way right now. I mean, if anything, listen, the Chargers are somewhat banged up. No Keenan Allen, no Joey Bosa. I mean, they do have some significant injuries, but I mean, the Broncos just lost at home to the Indianapolis Colts, who played one of the worst football games I've ever seen right now. So, yeah, I mean, to me right now, it's Chargers or nothing, or we look at some of the other props available to lay a little sprinkle down as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Go one quick thing. And again, trends, take it or leave it. Denver's 1-4 against the spread. Chargers are 4-1 against the spread. Like there's one team that seems to always keep it close and at least are in games, and the other team is just overrated. And I think now we're finally seeing, like, again, obviously not to the extent of the Packers or of the Bucks, like just this team is not good. They're not going to turn things around. And again, it's just, I think at this point it's a lost season. Just continue losing, get a better draft pick and start fresh. And maybe think about firing your coach, because I don't know if there has been a coach outside of maybe Urban Meyer in the last few years that has had a worse start to their tenure with their new team. It's been tough to watch.
Yeah, of course he was a one and done. So
yeah, 245 million reasons why they can't fire the quarterback right now. So
yeah, that changes things a little bit. Patty, before we let you go, you're in on the partner parlay with us. Hassan and I get our picks in a sec. We'll throw the graphic up. But what are you bringing to the table today?
Again, I'm fading Wilson. Him to throw an interception. He has 4 in 5 games. Again, I mentioned that shoulder, a little bit banged up. He just doesn't look like himself. In the red zone, he forces the ball. We've seen him throw some costly picks. So for me, I think it's priced right now at -150, which I thought it would be way higher than that. So we're getting a good number. And to throw it into a parlay, I thought it was a perfect piece. And again, you guys, which you'll dive into, those were the 2 other props that I really, really liked. So, that kind of scares me when you guys when we're all kind of on the same page. Bad things usually happen. But again, I figured it's fun to cheer.
Yeah, this is a great idea. Yeah, fun other way to do it, right? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. When the Broncos are down by 30, we can still be cheering for something. So that's great. Yeah. All right, Patty. Well, we'll catch up later in the week, buddy. Thanks a lot for popping by.
Thanks, Pat.
Alrighty, boys. Enjoy the game tonight.
Well done.
You can find him. You can find him on Twitter at P. Greg. He pops by once, twice a week here with the Lock Shop. You see his Wilson interception in the parlay. This parlay is going to pay plus 770, which is a huge number, buddy. If we can hit this tonight, kind of salvages week 6 for me, which would be great. And we're both on Chargers offensive weapons here. Go ahead, Huss. Lay it out for Eckler, then I'll get into Williams.
Well, and listen, I'm big on Eckler. He's had such a massive role after a pretty quiet start. And I think a big part of that is, when you lose the likes of Keenan Allen, I mean, you lean on the guys that you can count on. And you're going to get to Mike Williams in a minute. He's certainly the target when it comes to the receiving game. But Austin Eckler is one of the most versatile players in the National Football League. And he's been running the ball quite well. And he always catches the ball quite a bit. And I do think that he'll be an outlet for Justin Herbert tonight in the passing game. His total is 36.5. I know it says 39 here, but on the bet, it is over 36.5 receiving yards. I'm actually going to put together a combined Eckler number for our Cool Bet daily, our daily lock shop pick. And you could also find that in the Cool Bet exclusives, combining Austin Eckler rushing and receiving to go over 9.5 to basically get 100 yards combined.
I like that one.
I do like Eckler's receiving total at over 36.5. And that's what I've thrown in for my part of the partner parlay for tonight.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to Mike Williams. So there's obviously a bunch of different ways you can do this, right? You could go over 5.5 catches tonight. You could go over 68.5 yards. I'm decided to go with Mike Williams to lead the game in receiving yards, which, to be honest with you, with what we've seen from Russell Wilson so far this year, I mean, 75 yards, 80 yards might do this tonight. We'll have to see. Now, there is a concern. Patrick Surtain of the Denver Broncos, very good cornerback. But Devontae Adams just caught 9 balls for over 100 yards as well against Patrick Surtain. So it's possible. And you mentioned it, Huss, with no Keenan Allen, who's still out as per usual. I mean, you got 2 guys. Nothing against Palmer and Everett. I've got Everett on a play that we'll get to a little bit later on. But I think Mike Williams, I think 80 yards might be enough to do this for him tonight. So I'm going to take Mike Williams. You can get it at plus 175 if you like it solo. But we'll throw it into the parlay here, which that plus 175 bumps this plus 77 up quite a ways. So fingers crossed that Mike Williams can finish with more yards tonight than one of Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. I don't see anybody else really pushing him.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I think pretty sure he's going to be the guy for Justin Herbert, and Herbert's total for passing yards is around 266, I want to say, or close to 270. So if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of Mike Williams. I mean,
and Williams has 113 yards or more in 3 of his last 4 games. So, I mean,
he's the guy right now. Without Keenan Allen, he will be the guy continually going forward.
All right, so there you go. That's the partner parlay. You can find it Cool Bet exclusives. Hop in and join us there. Plus 770. We'd all be partying tonight with Monday Night Football. As for our picks, not going to be a lot of debate. Not going to be a lot of head-to-head action here. We're both on the Chargers minus 4.5, and we're both on the under 46.5, which we got it earlier. This number now sits at 45.5, Huss, so it has gone down. So we got it at 46.5, which I think is nice to see right now with that number falling a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, like right now it's showing, if you want to go under 45.5, it's even money. But if you click on the 46.5, okay, it's gone. It's now minus 120 from when we got it at minus 118. But I mean, if you like that point, I really do think it's going to be in and around this number right now. But when you think about what Denver has done offensively and how poor they have been in the red zone, if they can even get to the red zone, it's pretty hard to hammer the over on this. And to be honest, I think the Chargers somewhat are challenged because of the loss of some of their weapons right now. So I like the under 46.5. And, you know, gun to my head, I will play. You can, if you do want to tease the total a little bit, you can get -4 at minus 118. And that might be another way to play it. At least if it's a 4-point game for the Chargers, you get a push as opposed to losing. But the difference between minus 118 to minus 102, pretty significant. So those options are there. Just hit that little thing right beside the your 2 options, and it will give you some adjusted lines. As far as my 2 prop plays, we were talking about Austin Eckler. I've thrown this one in on the partner parlay. I have bet it over 36.5 at minus 122. And then this is again a fade the Broncos play. Under 5.5 total TDs is another bet. Pretty chalky number right now, but I think there's a reason for that. It's highly likely to come in. So we'll put a little sprinkle in on that one as well and try and cash a ticket on under 5.5 total touchdowns in the game tonight for the Chargers Broncos on MNF.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Courtland Sutton over 5.5 catches, or 4.5 catches tonight at -164. You have to go back to week 1 to find the last time that he didn't have 5 catches or more. And this could be a script, depending on how the game starts, but this could be a script where there's a couple of, late in the game, prevent defense, Courtland Sutton could catch a couple balls in that situation. So I like Courtland Sutton over 4.5 here at -164. And then, I'm expecting Justin Herbert to throw for 250, 260, 275 yards in this game. And hopefully 40 or 50 of them go to Eckler. Hopefully 80 or 90 of them, maybe 100 go to Mike Williams. Well, where are the rest of them going to go? Nothing against Josh Palmer. He'll be involved a little bit as well. But I'm going to take Gerald Everett as tight end over 32.5 yards. It's -110. Here's the Gerald Everett game log so far. Let's go over the last 4 weeks. He only had one. Let's see. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 54, 71, 25, 61. Last week was not involved much, but 54, 71, and 61 yards. So he's done it 3 times comfortably. So we're going to look at Everett over 32.5 yards at -110.
Yeah, I think there's some value on the other receivers for the Chargers right now because we're so used to just Keenan Allen, Mike Williams being the guys. But without Keenan Allen, presumably in this game, the Everett, Ecklers and whatnot, I think are going to see a little bit more action in the air because Justin Herbert's still going to be chucking it and Brandon Staley's still going to be calling plays to let his all-pro quarterback air it out.
Well, now we've got some investment in it. So that's good. And we've been great on the total so far. 4-1 spread on Monday night hasn't been great, but we've been good on these totals so far. And to be honest with you, if I look at this whole board and go, what am I most comfortable with? I think it's probably the under 46.5. So yeah, we'll see if we can hit another one there as well. Then we'll be back talking fantasy tomorrow with the Lock Shop again, and then reload CFL, NHL, Thursday Night Football, best bets, props and parlay Saturday. Man, there's lots to get to. Hey, how about the 2 CFL games I called this weekend? Dude. Right down to the wire, both of them final play. Amazing. It doesn't get any better, buddy. I'm so lucky.
Once again, there's the Nielsen effect when you step into that booth, and more often than not, it's been an absolute thriller. Although, listen, there's been some great action in the Canadian Football League this week. Bombers are on the bye week, but there still is some big, very impactful games when it comes to the playoff races. Saskatchewan is in deep trouble right now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to all of that on Wednesday's program, laying out our CFL picks for the week.
That is going to do it for our Monday program. And if you're looking for that Lock Shop Partner Parlay, once again, coolbet.com. Sign up for an account. Use the bonus code LOCKSHOP, 100% deposit bonus on initial deposit up to $200. Coolbet exclusives. Click on it. You'll see Lock Shop Partner Parlay plus 770 if you want to ride with us tonight on that one. Either way, enjoy the football game. We'll be back tomorrow talking fantasy. Huss, enjoy the Monday Nighter, bud.
Right on, Dusty.